happy hoes, everybody. It's Kellen Nitro, and welcome to the Nitromaniac TV's Christmas Extravaganza 2023. This has become kind of a yearly tradition here on the channel where we kind of, well, let me move that out of frame. There we go. Where we get together and have contributors from both the Wrestling Unlimited channel, which I run, and the Drag Files channel, which, of course, I run. We all kind of get together, and there's no point to this stream if it's basically an open. It's an open round table of festive holly jolliness. You can sit down and ask questions about racing, wrestling, life, Christmas, you name it. It's just basically a big end of year get together thing. So yes. Yeah, and actually, I'm gonna do this right now while we got this. I know I was gonna say that I was gonna anoint myself head of the table, but you didn't said it was head of the sleigh, so I will become the mighty slayer of the night and do this.
Yeah, you get it because
God, if you will.
because there's a sleigh, you see, and sleigh can mean two different things, and I'm just going to be Norm MacDonald until you put those headphones back on. And oh my God, they light like that.
They do, yes. I've got different settings. I think I've got this on panic right now. So, oh no, that's panic. Okay. Let me just see what else we got. Oh, that's slow. That's like
that's slow blink.
That's hazard on the highway there.
Yeah.
It's whatever.
Panic's okay. No, that was cool.
There, that's solid.
Okay,
that's
don't
what I
electrocute
wanted.
yourself now. No. Make it flash.
You want it flashing? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not hazard lights. There we go. Nope. Okay.
Too fast? Okay. Slow. We are configuring the lights right now, everybody.
There we go. We can do.
Yes. Boom. There we go. And I will invite you into my house right now. There we go. Welcome to my humble abode.
That looks
YouTube
confusing as shit.
YouTube has been good this year. No, just kidding. I don't think so, but hey, there we go.
My art on the wall now looks like your art in the wall.
Exactly. And my art on the wall looks like my art on the wall.
Okay. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Oh my God, the fireplace is working.
It is. Yes, the fireplace is right below you. So.
It's hot. It's hot.
Do you feel your chestnuts roasting on an open fire there?
Oh God, it's more than just those.
So there we go.
Mm-hmm.
A little spicy. We got our first comment of the night in. Actually, this comment checked out on the Twitter first, or not on. Yeah, what am I saying here? Hang on, rewind. Our first comment. This fella checked in at 6:52 Mountain, and we didn't go on air until 7:30. So this individual was really excited that we were jumping on tonight. It's from El Toro 66. Says, "Hey y'all, listening to my local indie radio station and getting ready for Nitromaniac Christmas style." Yes, thank you very much, El Toro 66, for tuning in. And yeah, we'll keep rocking here throughout the evening with some Yuletide Kiltis, which is kind of an old-timey term for Christmassy type stuff.
What did you just say?
Yuletide Kiltis.
One more time.
Yuletide.
No, I got
Yuletide.
that.
Yes.
Got
Kiltis.
that. Keltis?
Kiltis.
Where did you...
Old English term. Just for Old English term that means regale and be merry and that stuff. Just reverie.
We have modern words for that.
Yeah, but Christmas is a time of year where you bring out all the old English and stuff.
Keltis.
Keltis.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with this information, where you got it from, and where do we go from here?
Well, where do we go from here? We just get the snowball going, you know? Keep it rolling, keep it going.
In a Keltis fashion.
Yes, in a true Keltis fashion.
God.
I'm going to bring in another guest that's joining us as well. This is one of the debuts for the first time here on Nitromaniac TV, on Drag Files, and now subsequently Wrestling Unlimited and throughout. I'm going to extend a warm Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to Mr. Lee Kraft. The Monday Morning Racer is joining us.
Hello, gentlemen.
From near Memphis, I guess, or somewhere. How far from Memphis are you, basically?
Memphis would be probably about 6-7 hours. I'm in the Upton, South Carolina, so around Greenville. If you're familiar with Clemson University, I live in a little town right below Clemson, which is known as Pendleton. So, yeah, that's about Tennessee's longer than people realize.
Yeah.
And you're basically, going right to the Mississippi River. Memphis is on it. And Beale Street is wonderful. I do love going down to Beale Street when I get an opportunity. Make sure don't carry cash. Someone will always try to bum cash off of you. Be prepared to buy someone a drink. They're going to be asking for drinks out there on the street. But certainly great to catch the blues and get some barbecue and enjoy a good meal with some live music there on Beale Street. It's a lot of fun.
Right on. Hey, that it sounds almost similar. Like I was in New Orleans back in 2014. Is it very similar to New Orleans and just kind of the vibe, or does New Orleans have its own kind of aura to it?
I would imagine that New Orleans has got its own vibe to it, though you do have a connection with the blues and especially New Orleans, the jazz. But I have not spent much time in New Orleans proper. Like I haven't done the Bourbon Street tour, if you will. I've been by it, been through it. The most that I have experienced New Orleans would be a nice little coffee shop north of the town. Don't remember the name, but great mural on the side and pretty good coffee. That's about it.
So the barbecue around you guys, is it vinegar, mustard, or ketchup based?
Good questions. You go across the country, barbecue is different everywhere, and everybody thinks they've got the best. And I will say that you certainly have areas that do the best of a particular variety of barbecue. I personally am a fan of it all. Let me have it wherever I go. I think barbecue is just good, period. Now, I've had bad barbecue, don't get me wrong, but I haven't had a bad type of barbecue. They're all good in their own way, in my opinion. So, the upstate of South Carolina, pulled pork is going to be the preferred barbecue, and you're going to find it to be a mustard-based sauce. Or Carolina Gold, if you will, many may refer to it. Now, you don't take too much north. Go into North Carolina and get around like Raleigh, Durham. I used to live in a small town, Roxborough, where strutmasters.com is based out of. They heavily sponsor in drag racing. Well, that neck of the woods, again, pulled pork, but vinegar-based sauce. Very good in its own right, but you don't go that far and you have a dramatic difference in the nature of barbecue. Now, I'm also very much so tied to Texas. Mama was born and raised in Texas. Got a lot of family out there. I love my dry rub brisket. Man, that is so good when it is done just right and it's tender, it's falling apart.
So, or when they do the beef ribs, the big dinosaur beef ribs, woo!
Yeah. Now you talk about beef ribs. So I'm not a big rib guy, honestly. Okay. I prefer other areas. Yeah, I know. A lot of people are like ribs. I'm like, so many times I feel disappointed by ribs. I'm like, that wasn't enough, and it didn't taste that great. Okay, honestly.
Gotcha.
Okay,
but Stanton, Virginia, which it looks like Staunton. There's a U in there, but it's Stanton. It's actually the home of the American Shakespeare Society. You can catch a Shakespearean play in a replica of a Shakespearean theater. They do.
Cool.
It is the way to see Hamlet or Macbeth, unless you go across the pond and see it over there
with a southern accent.
No, these are trained. They have been able to remove it, or at least refine it in a great way. But Stanton, Virginia, there is a place, I believe it's called the Flour Mill, or it's in an old flour mill. absolutely the best beef ribs I've ever had in my life. That's coming from a guy who's not that big of a beef individual, big rib individual. And I've had Oklahoma Joe's ribs, which are the top ribs apparently over there in Kansas City. So they beat there. Stanton, Virginia. Mark it, get there, enjoy it.
Okay.
I don't want to say put them back on the map. They've done that themselves, but bring some brand awareness that Murph is not dead. Like I literally had people ask, "Hey, did Murph die?" No, Murph did not die. He is alive and well. He was actually grinding on a funny car chassis here just a couple of days ago, and you can see that reel on McKinney Corp social medias. But that's gone well. You know, when I got there, I think they were sitting at about 4,000, 5,000 followers, and now it's up almost to 12,000 followers on Facebook and nearing 2,000 followers on Instagram when they were under 1,000. That's going a little slower, but it is trickling. It is moving forward, and just a lot more people are aware that they're still building race cars. They're still functioning as a company. Murph is still alive, and they're able also now to see that they are doing so much more than just race cars. There are so many cool things happening in that shop, from the rocket labs at Purdue to an automated sprayer that goes in fields. And
I saw that.
The
video of that. It was insane.
Yeah,
Them put together that sprayer is just, it's a massive, like that's a long apparatus.
Yeah.
And those guys just welding on it and putting it together is just insane. So it was, I love that reel. That was some good stuff for sure. So
my question was, I'm going to throw this grenade into the middle and just see what happens.
Okay.
NASCAR or F1, and why?
Ooh. NASCAR v F1, and why?
As in, who's better? You know, who?
What's more entertaining?
Right now?
More entertaining. What is more entertaining? I enjoy F1. I grew up on NASCAR. And at this moment right now, I would say that NASCAR, and I imagine you're referring to Cup, the Cup level, is more entertaining than Formula One. Because with Formula One, if it is not dealt with and handled, and you have the mix-up at the beginning of the race, which is seemingly where you're only going to get it out of strange circumstances, the race is decided then, and you have seconds on top of seconds separating the key players in a Grand Prix. You right now go and look at almost any stock car race. Granted, they're not stock cars. That's another debate. But you have an opportunity where there are the possibility of multiple winners. Typically right now, to F1 race, within about 10 laps, you can usually easily pick out that winner of that Grand Prix. The race within the race might be more interesting in F1 of who is going to be able to point and get those positions. But far as overall winner and who is the point man at the end of the day and then on top, I think NASCAR Cup is far more entertaining.
And I second that for sure. Unless you get a scenario like we did in Vegas with the F1 race where, do you have, I wouldn't even consider it poor track conditions, but just, controversy around the track and that stuff, then it kind of gets interesting, because I feel that the F1 people, F1 fans, I find, are a little bit like pro wrestling fans in that they'll complain and about every small detail on a race weekend or whatever, like pro wrestling fans will do on a pro wrestling card. So it's similar in that regard. So obviously with all the online chatter about the Vegas street course and that stuff, that made that event for me a must watch, because they were making it sound like these cars were going to wreck on the first corner, or we were going to have mass chaos and hysteria happen. because we had flying manhole covers or something like that during the race or whatever. So, but alas, I watched the Vegas F1 race and none of that happened. So I was like, oh, a little bit of disappointment.
Now, I just thought of something tangenty.
Okay.
Being from South Carolina, close to Nashville and halfway between Georgia, and mom from Texas, that's a big area for pro wrestling back in the day, when they all had their own companies and their own talents and their own TV stations, and wrestling meant a lot in those areas.
Oh, yes.
Does that mean anything to you now? Or like wrestling in general?
So modern wrestling right now, I have found it very challenging to get into. But, growing up as a kid, WCW especially, but also WWF at the time. But I was a WCW kid. They would come to Anderson, South Carolina, and oddly enough, it was on like Wednesday nights. They were filming for Saturday night.
Yes.
And WCW would still go to these very small civic centers, because Anderson had a small civic center. And, I got to see my favorite tag team go up against, at the time, who I despised the most, but yet I look back and I think to myself, those are some spectacular matches. Lex Luger versus Harlem Heat at the Anderson Civic Center.
Yep.
I got to see one of the early matches of the Giant against,
cool.
A 3 versus 1 with the Snake and other people involved. And he was just choke slamming, throwing everybody around, and Mean Gene, and all those those characters. They were there in Little Anderson at the Civic Center for WCW. So grew up in a household that did watch wrestling, because my dad, during that territory time and when he was growing up, he led a rather fascinating life. I keep, would talk to him about what he did and did not do, but at one time he was actually in pro wrestling. Okay. And as wild as it may sound, I believed him, because if he ever got a hold of your hands, he knew holds that I don't care who you were. You were on your knees. You were begging for mercy. I mean, he just knew things that you would have to have some ring craft to be able to do. And he related that wrestling, it was never your opponent. You didn't have to worry about your opponent, because we all know it is. You're taking bumps, you're taking hits, but it's choreographed. You know what is going on. There is a plan. Well, he mentioned that it was never the opponent that had to worry about, but there were times outside the ring that you had to worry about the fans.
Yes.
And he did recall, he did mention that there was one old lady with a wooden fold-up chair that did crack him across his back. And his buddy opponent in the ring had to come and basically save him from the old woman that was getting involved. So the smaller outfits of wrestling, they probably have the greater stories of like wild fan interaction.
They do.
In wrestling matches, and people really being invested in the moment and the situation. So Dad recalls, he remembers when Ric Flair came into the area, because Ric Flair obviously operated in a lot of southern territories more
NWA champion
in any other areas. And he remembers when Flair came into the area, and then he was like nobody and those type of things. So love wrestling. Been very hard to get back into it in the modern day and time.
Yes.
But from as a kid in WCW, look, I remember going to the local. So obviously, I'm sure you all remember Blockbuster, but regionally, everybody had different things that you could go that were like Blockbuster. Well, here in South Carolina, we had movies. It was MOO, and it had yeah, it was cow thing. And like
the fake awning, from Clerks. That's crazy.
The awning was like Holstein print and everything. And
oh, cool.
The wild cow was wearing theater red and blue glasses. You know, so the movies to go rent movies. And when I would go rent movies as a kid, I didn't want to watch, you know, the latest rom-com. I was renting Transformers, the latest Super Nintendo video game, and old wrestling matches.
Yes,
and
exactly.
I love to this day. I watched it over and over. I watched it on YouTube still to this day. One of my favorite matches, Great American Bash. Sting versus Flair, and you've got like the Steiner brothers around the ring, and they're protecting, keeping everybody out. So Sting has a
lumberjack
fair fight.
match.
Yes, I love that one. I love that one.
Yep.
So
1990 Great American Bash, Baltimore, Maryland. Yes, it's definitely the match of the night on that card because everything else on there is rather forgettable. So
yeah, but there was a weird. Vader was like really weird in that match. Like he had the full like hit thing that had steam coming out of or something.
He had just debuted. That's why in WCW, I think like about 6 months earlier or something like that. That was his rookie year. Well, rookie year in quotations, I guess. And he was traveling back from Japan to the States to Japan at the same time. So the Japanese basically created the Vader character because, you know, what's scarier than, you know, a mastodon mask with steam and that stuff. Basically, we're trying to make him into wrestling's version of Godzilla, right? So
okay. Yeah. So yes, from that time to I remember NWO happening and Rey Mysterio being. I distinctly remember Rey Mysterio being picked up and flung into the side of like a temporary construction.
The dartboard incident.
That's right.
That one sticks in my mind. And Sting with the black and the white and his return, and you know the sale. Steve McMahon, right? Vince McMahon's son. Is it Steve or
Shane?
Shane. Excuse me, Shane.
McMahon,
You know, him showing up to Nitro and all that. I remember that. Love Stone Cold era with Rock and Kane and Triple H. You know, one of my favorite pay-per-views is the pay-per-view that had the Hell in the Cell match with Stone Cold, The Rock, Undertaker, Rikishi, and Triple H, if I remember correctly.
And Kurt Angle.
That match.
And Kurt Angle.
Yes.
Armageddon 2000.
That was spectacular.
That's right.
And the Royal Rumble that I believe Kane won it, or either was one of the last ones, but they brought out a lot of the old wrestlers, like Honky Tonk Man.
Okay.
You get the guitar crushed over him, and
I think you're talking 2001 probably. That's the one that Austin won. Kane was in it the longest, so that's probably where you got it.
He was in it so long that his hair dried. It was all frizzy.
Complete frizz.
But y'all need to hand him
40 minutes in at that point.
That hair, you know.
Just tossing guys over, and it just went. There's a review on that's online by a bunch of Irish people or Irish lads, I should say, named OSW Review, and they go in depth right from the beginning of the pay-per-view on, and they have a Kane Frizz-o-meter gag during the match where they just, you know, he starts out at 0, and then by the end, when he gets tossed out, it's like at a 7 or an 8 out of 10 because he's got like just a massive, like almost hairband hair happening at that point. You know
the last skit, if you will, that kind of got me out of wrestling. That this is too far. Like what are we doing here? You know, come on, Vince McMahon. We got to pull this back. It was I believe it was a time frame that Kane had the thing going on with the redhead that was associated with the brothers, the Hardy brothers.
Oh, Lita. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Lita. Okay, cool. Yeah. So you had that, and then Triple H has got this weird thing of like someone has died and doing someone in a coffin, and the brain.
Katie Vick. Katie Vick. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's the moment.
Yeah. And I'm like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
That was
Kane had a girlfriend that died at the prom or something.
Yes.
Okay, something like that. Okay,
Yeah.
Triple
Died
H
on
unearthed
a,
her.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm like,
yeah. A lot of us did that and stopped watching wrestling from that point.
I just have not been able to get back in it. So what I enjoy wrestling wise now is I don't have to go to movies. I just go to YouTube and I watch channels, like
with
your channel, Kellen,
stuff,
and then many other ones that review old matches and they do the background stories. I find the culture around wrestling so fascinating. And actually very similar to the racing culture because it is this traveling circus and it is a hard life on the road and you're always working, and how these men and women do it. Like, how did Ric Flair drink all that he consumed and still looked good and wrestled? How did you do that?
I don't know.
Your knowledge of Canada, do you relatively know where Edmonton is?
I do. I have spent time in Canada. I used to live outside of Rochester, New York for a while. So I'm very familiar with Ontario.
Yes.
I've spent some time in Toronto and thoroughly enjoy Toronto. That's a neat city. More people need to make that a place to go visit and experience. Certainly multi-ethnic and multicultural, and also so much history about Europeans getting established in the Americas right there too. Interesting history too concerning, the United States of America had this weird fascination of trying to conquer Canada early on. Like, you had nobody to populate all the room you got, and you want to go up here and take Canada. What is wrong with y'all? So, but anyway, everybody, like Americans get ticked off. The War of 1812, the White House is burned. Oh, those British, man. Well, they burnt it because we burnt Toronto. That's why.
Yeah.
Right.
It was retaliation. The Americans did the bad first, if you will. It wasn't the British. So anyway, also found out through the Fort York, I think that's correct, Fort York, Toronto, that found out American Civil War history at the fort. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I'm in Canada.
Yeah, not a lot of people know that, but there you go.
Yeah, I'm learning something about the American Civil War that I don't even know, and I'm a rather big American Civil War buff, but the Confederacy had ships on the Great Lakes doing raids. And there was even sabotaging of railroads in like Buffalo, New York. Like, what?
I know.
So yeah.
Crazy. Yeah.
Learned that through Canada, not in America. I had to go to Canada to learn that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's amazing.
Hey, I got a question.
Okay. All right.
When was the last time that a Canadian sports team won something?
Go back to the Raptors, I guess, with the NBA championship.
Raptors. Okay. Which
was it? 19? Yeah.
Which
2019.
is one reason why I went to Toronto. I went to go watch the Atlanta Hawks play the Raptors.
There we go.
Nice. There you go.
That was cool. Cool. Very nice stadium there that the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Raptors play in. That's nice.
Oh, speaking of, this is a great segue here because we got Mr. Toronto on the line here coming in. So, joining us is the all-star of these past few Christmas extravaganzas. He is also the co-contributor on Nitromaniac TV's Wrestling Unlimited when we do our classic Nitro takes where we look at old pay-per-views and that stuff. He's the star on the top of our Christmas tree. It is Mr. Craig P. Fraser joining us tonight.
Go Leafs, go! Go Leafs, go! 7-0. Fuck you, Pittsburgh.
No, that's like I said. The language is blue, so there we go.
This
oh no!
do
I have to watch myself?
Sure.
Our people didn't exist during LARP days.
Sure it did.
Wow.
If you come in as like a Rajput warrior, we'll give you like the sick. we got the gold chain. We got the gold chain link. We'll put you in that.
Okay. Really?
Yes.
We have a shirt of gold chainmail. It looks pretty good.
Why? I don't want to know. Never mind that. I don't want to know.
It's cool, Ty. You'll love it.
So I get to ride in on an elephant rearing a
I don't have an elephant budget. I can't.
And it sounds like, unfortunately, the closest elephant to us is going to kick off here in the next year or so.
I was just thinking you would look dope in a.
We have an elephant in our zoo, and it's not doing well.
In a gold chainmail kit. Did you just think of like the entrance of Aladdin? Is that where you went with the elephant? See, no, I don't have elephant money.
No, because Aladdin is Middle Eastern.
Because he's from Agrabah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Middle East.
Well, then
the whole riding an elephant thing, that's regular standard shit in India.
Well, I guess you could do. You could come in Hannibal.
And Africa.
You could do Hannibal, Carthage. Pretty dope.
What?
Hannibal attack Rome.
What the fuck?
Hannibal had more elephants.
We have regular elephants.
You had war elephants. They're more than just.
We did have war elephants.
Yes,
they were armored elephants.
So okay, now we got a couple of more contributors on. We can re-ask the question that we asked earlier in this stream. We are the food debate for this year's Christmas Extravaganza is ham v turkey. Which one is the superior meat?
For Christmas.
For Christmas, yes, for Christmas dinner.
Yeah, not every day, because turkey, you don't eat it every day. You never eat turkey.
Well, we'll let the representative from South Carolina take the floor here.
Well, my family, Christmas, it's always been ham. So ham for Christmas. Thanksgiving is turkey. Granted, this year, me and Mom, we just went with chicken, honestly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, because traditionally Thanksgiving, it certainly turkey was on the menu, but you look at the first several Thanksgiving. I mean, lobster was on the menu. You had quail on the menu. Venison was on the menu. It was a very different meal than the modern Thanksgiving fare. So Christmas ham. I will say though, I think it's proper, especially Christmas, to explore some other fowl, and that's not a fowl to do so. Like duck. I think duck's a good option.
Yes.
Or pheasant as well. Mr. TL, hand up again. Come on.
Again.
Let's go.
I did have my hand up. Did you know, here in Canada, our Thanksgiving is in October, not November?
I know y'all have different days for the holidays, and what
that might be
Boxing Day? What's Boxing?
Yes, Boxing Day is a national holiday here. Yeah,
I think it's just
Boxing Day is the day after Christmas. So
yes, and it's a national holiday. Yeah.
Yeah, everything goes on sale because Christmas is done. So it's just a mad dash for whatever you want to get.
It shows Black Friday.
Basically.
Yeah, but this happens after Christmas because you missed it. You missed the mark.
Yeah.
So everything goes on sale now.
And the same deals that you can see on Boxing Day go the entire week right up to New Year's. It's now a Boxing Week up here. It's the Boxing
like
Black Friday week down here now. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So it's just on borderline insane on the 26th. There's people that will line up outside of like Best Buy and Walmart and that stuff on Christmas Day at like 8, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. So they'll have their Christmas dinner, then head right out to Walmart or Best Buy and that stuff, and get in line for a 6 a.m. opening so they can get the 60-inch TV for $100 or whatever it is. Like it's just insane. We haven't got to the point where we're stampeding people to death yet up here, but it's gotten close. So
that is American retail though.
Yes, yeah.
I was in Best Buy actually in November. They had the Black Friday sale, and there was a guy because I was looking at Christmas gifts for because we draw names on my wife's side. Yeah, and I was looking for something for her stepdad, and I was in there, and there was a guy trying to get a TV, but he was just like, I'll take the floor model. The guy's like, well, it's gonna be a long time. He's like, get a screwdriver, I'll do it. Dang. He's like, I'll unscrew it. And they're like, the other. And he's like, well, we'll figure this out. They're like unscrewing this TV. The guy's like, well, he's like, do you want a box? And the guy's like, you just want to huff it into the truck with me? The guy's like, yeah, let's do it. He just scans the barcode. He just they're carrying out Raw TV with the cables dangling. He's like, "That's good."
That's it. So I want this deal. This is my deal.
Yep.
I'm not losing my deal.
That's right.
I don't need the box anyway. I'm not going to use it when I get home. When you're near one of the Great Lakes, you live and die by it. It just, the weather they produce, it is just strange.
They get the old Gordon Lightfoot song and the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Yeah, man.
The winds of November come slashing.
I'm sorry. How did the dude from South Carolina know a song that I didn't know that was Canadian?
It was a worldwide hit. That's why.
It was.
That was one of his worldwide hits.
Yeah. And the Edmund Fitzgerald is probably the most well-known, possibly the greatest, at least to the American side, shipwreck of them all. It's also probably the most mysterious. I mean, there's still many debates on what did or did not happen to that particular ship. It was the largest on the American side, and it went down. And it's one of those that should never went down. Type of situation.
It was like the Titanic for freighters, basically.
Yeah, there you go. Yes, that'd be a great way to put it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but so many close lyric references to that song because the ship. That's the lyric. Is the ship was the pride of the American side.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it left with did it leave Ohio or did it leave Wisconsin? And it was coming through Superior.
Yeah, some mill in Wisconsin. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Classic.
I just looked at the map and I love my road trips, and man, a road trip to Edmonton would be epic from South Carolina. It would it'd be cool.
Yep.
That would be great.
Give me a list.
Drive to London, England.
Oh, London, England. Yeah.
It might be the same distance.
Well, driving there would be a bit of a challenge all the way. But I have done that trip, and interestingly enough, like a tip to anyone out there, if you're close enough to Canada to take a flight from Canada to Great Britain, do that. It is significantly cheaper.
Yeah.
Like,
really?
when I lived way cheaper. When I lived outside of Rochester, it made more sense for me to go to Toronto 3.5 hours and get on a flight from there to go over to Great Britain instead of anywhere out of the U.S. because the cheapest flight I could find was, like $1,200, and out of Canada, round trip was $700 with Air Canada.
Wow.
And plenty of snacks. Stewardess were hot, and then the trip back, it was everybody was going back to Quebec, and everybody was speaking French, and the wine was flowing. I'm like, this isn't bad at all.
There you go. That's all you need.
So
that's all you need.
Parlez-vous français instrument?
You didn't say a damn thing just now.
Oui, j'ai pas français un petit peu. J'ai étudié l'école pour pourtant les transactions.
So
you don't believe that.
Sometimes.
I was gonna say, for the Americans tuning in, that's our version of SAP on the remotes is en français. So
Tabarnak!
I'll never forget. I was in Mexico once, and this guy walked up. I was wearing my Leafs trunks. And he had
the Leafs trunks.
And like one of my good buddies is a big Habs fan, so we always we bet $20 on every time they play, and we never pay each other. It's just for bragging rights, I think. But we were there, and this guy walks up. He has a Habs hat on, and I was like, oh, here we go. I was expecting like, oh, look at the Leafs trunks or something, but he just walked up, and he was from Quebec.
Yeah.
And so he was just like, I see you're wearing your Maple Leafs trunks. My hat is better now. And I was like, oh my god,
here we go.
On you and me, buddy.
All right, so when it comes to hockey in Canada,
yes,
look, I'm sure there are intense rivalries. I get that.
Oh, there are, yes.
But at this point, does all of Canada need to work together to actually win the dang cup again? And y'all,
it seems like it.
I mean, well, what's going on, guys?
Well, it'll never happen, but sure. I mean, from the outside, I can see that. Sure.
In my opinion, it truly doesn't matter because 80% of the NHL is Canadians, anyways.
Oh, that populated teams, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're taking that route that we're all Canadians on the other teams anyway. So therefore, we win by default. It comes back to Canada.
It's never bothered me like, I mean, the Leafs haven't won since '67, so I'm like, I don't care. Like my entire life is depression.
And your father's life,
right?
And your uncle's life,
Montreal
and your
Toronto.
uncles,
Yeah.
everybody. Nobody's seen it.
Hey,
Got it.
hey, Ty. The last time the Oilers won, I wasn't even alive yet.
It sounds like
What
Boston
I was-
Red Sox fans or
You
Cubs
were.
fans. You know,
You were, but
Yeah.
I'm saying, pot eat kettle. That's all I'm saying.
So,
What are you talking
yeah.
about? At least my kettle's electric. Yours is done on a stove made out of
Dang.
iron.
Back in the way it was supposed to be.
So to outline this argument for the general viewer, so Fraser's Maple Leafs haven't won the Stanley Cup since 1967. Myself and TL's Edmonton Oilers haven't won the Stanley Cup since 1990. So that's
Well, who's been closer since?
the Oilers have actually made a cup final in the past 25 years. Yes.
Do they give a
Leafs haven't.
trophy? Do they give a trophy for second place? I didn't.
They do. It's called the
I
conference.
don't know. Do they
championship.
give a trophy for getting kicked out of the first round of the playoffs every season?
No, because there would be no trophy for that.
So,
I
y'all
would
are
never
telling
celebrate.
It would just be a Maple Leaf guy choking like this.
So y'all are telling me that as a Carolina Hurricane fans, I'm the closest one to a cup at this point.
You've
saw-
actually and
Y'all beat us
you
for
beat
that
us
cup,
in
too.
2006 for the cup. Yes. So
But the team is comprised of nothing but Canadians and Russians, more than likely.
basically, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a
And
good
right now, a bunch of Finnish people.
Yeah, and you have some good Finnish players on the Carolines.
Some
A
Yeah.
good
lot of
American
good
players.
Finnish players, which is weird.
Well, the Finnish player is typically your goalie nowadays because that's a goalie factory is Finland. So
Great. It's all I need
Yeah.
in my life. More Scandinavian references.
the Vikings are coming, Lee. It's
Yeah.
the Viking Revolution.
I tell you.
Well,
Yeah.
between Craig's build and your beard, there you go.
Hey, I tell people all the time, you can look at me and tell that, my ancestry was on some island somewhere way up north and, contemplating how to get across some vast body of water,
Yeah.
more than likely.
try to figure
And
out
my
which animal
ancestry
you're
are
going to
people in
skin
an
for
island
tonight.
near the equator.
Yes.
I just
And
thought you
if
Tadwell.
we had Darren on, we definitely know where his ancestry was.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Hey, I threw an invite out to Darren, and the dude. never got
Darren's
back to
traveling. Darren's traveling.
I know
or
he is, yeah.
He either needed, after his PRI adventure, check in with the doctor. So.
Ah,
one of the two.
Oh, okay. So it's like
yeah.
that. Gotcha.
Yeah,
All
stuff like-
Is In-N-Out Burger really that good?
It is good. I
Yeah.
do not rank it as the top burger, fast food wise. The top burger, in my opinion, fast food wise, is Whataburger, which you're going to
I
find.
was just going to say Whataburger.
Yeah,
Is
in
yours
Texas,
gonna be yours?
Louisiana, little bits
Yeah.
parts of Louisiana, Oklahoma, those type places.
Okay. And I'll add, TL, that In-N-Out Burger is their equivalent to our Canadian A&W, basically in burger quality.
You know they have A&W as well, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
But
it
I'm
started in the States. Isn't it American? I thought
Yeah.
A&W was American.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's the brand name, right? So the American A&W is slightly different than the Canadian A&W.
I would agree
have the
with
same
that
stuff,
because
but-
I would not rank American A&W with In-N-Out Burger.
Yes.
In-N-Out
Yeah.
Burger would be above A&W.
Yeah.
Here. So certainly you've got some quality differences
Mhm.
there. But I will say, my experience going over to Great Britain, I saw a McDonald's. And
Okay.
I'm like, okay, I'm in Southern England and there's a McDonald's. I'm an American. I've got to try a McDonald's over
Right.
in England.
Exactly.
And I go and I bite into it and I tasted the same great trash that is McDonald's. It was
It's a
consistent.
worldwide phenomenon.
Yes. So if you need fine trash throughout the world, McDonald's can supply your nourishment of fine trash.
Although, in Trinidad and Tobago,
Oh,
the McDonald's does taste different.
really?
Well,
Okay.
Yeah, it does. It does.
What else is on the menu? What is different? Do you recall?
The chicken nuggets were different.
Mhm.
You know when McDonald's launched like McCafe, which is like all of their dessert products to like go up against Starbucks.
Right.
It was an all out, like they had cakes and pastries and pies and stuff. So they had a little bit more than that.
Interesting. Which for McDonald's apparently has got a new combatant, if you will, against Starbucks, Cosmos or something like that. They're going to be coming out with a brand new chain, and it is just like a coffee house, but under the McDonald's umbrella.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
Okay. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, the McDonald's burger did taste different.
The evil red and yellow empire is attempting to advance its posts even into the coffee world.
Oh, and Tim Hortons. Don't start with Tim Hortons. Dude, the quality at Tim's has gone downhill. It's terrible. It's trash now.
To hear. Man, I love me a honey dip donut and some coffee with cream, man. That was
Oh, does McDonald's have the same nickname in the States as it does here? Because I don't. I have a few American friends, and we always call McDonald's McDicks. Do you call it that down there? Because I was in Denver, and I was with my friends. I was like, "Let's get McDicks," and they're like, "What are you talking about?"
No. I don't refer to it in any of its slang variety, but Mickey D's would be the one that I have most commonly heard. Wow.
McDicks. They're calling it McDicks, dude. It's the best.
I've got to use that. I am appropriating this Canadian. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it.
You have full endorsement from us to do so.
No, McDicks does not sound like a fast food restaurant. It sounds like something else that will get you a quick turn. That's what it does. Like.
It's an Irish gay bar.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. It does. Wow. Probably like downtown Chicago or Boston or something. Man.
Their arches go the other way.
I check it out.
So as you can tell, folks, it's completely unhinged. There's no set topic tonight. This is the Mail It In Friday of every stream that I do basically throughout the year. This year is the Christmas Extravaganza, and it is truly an extravaganza. So the wrestling boys will know this one. I gotta fit this gag in because I do this every single stream. Undertaker! Yes, joining us right now is the Nitromaniac TV's Undertaker. Below is the facts and figures of the first Christmas, which took place at 12:25:0 in some random manger beside the inn in Bethlehem, West Bank, Palestine, back in the day.
Oh, Lord.
Or what is currently West Bank, Palestine. That's kind of being disputed right now, but there we go. So
careful.
No, very careful. Yeah, very careful. So
many things I need to correct, and I'm just not going to do it.
So there we go.
My head is literally popping off my body right now.
Yeah, the first Christmas is an interesting. Well, it wasn't in December.
Yes.
It was like, no way it's in December.
Yeah.
Correct.
So,
Yeah, for sure. And there's interpretations, too, that if you follow, is it the Judean calendar? It's January? One of the calendars, it's January, like early January.
It does depend. Most people, they're gonna put it in just around like where we even understand Easter to be.
Gotcha.
Very, very similar to there. But when you look at the scripture, the reason for that is the shepherds are out at night, and people like to think of like Israel, that it doesn't get cold and it's a desert. No, it gets cool there, and it can get cold. They can get snow, depending on the higher elevation. So if you've got December and it's cold, the shepherds probably aren't going to be out at night in that situation and just hanging out in the fields, and you got those type of things. So then people dive in further and like, when was the census called, and traveling and blah blah.
Yeah, exactly. So
it being around December, it might be a nice gesture. Obviously, it was appropriated to give people who had converted a different time to celebrate something they had been used to, because people don't want to get rid of old stuff they've been used to for a very, very long time, just like people in churches today. Anyway, but there you go. Yeah,
there you go.
And
Coolest notes.
Christmas was always commercialized because when Jesus was in the manger, 3 dudes burst in and said, "I got you this." And they each had something to give him.
Well, and even that's a bit of a misnomer because that interaction takes place when he is a young child, not actually when he's an infant.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that scene.
It's something that's lost in
happen.
translation for years. Yes, I got you.
Yeah, it's you look at the narrative and it's a smashing of it together to make it more effective for your in-home playwright and the Christmas pageant that you're putting on. But no, they arrived after the fact because they saw and they're like, oh, let's go, and they bring these gifts, and he would have been, I don't know, probably 3, 4. That's the estimated age.
Yeah. And also, it wasn't 3 wise men; it was just wise men. We don't know how.
Right.
Many.
We have no idea what the number is.
We don't know how many. We don't know how many. It was not 3. It was wise men, and 3 might be a good representation, at least because of the gifts. But yeah, it was probably an entire entourage because you got to remember they're expecting to come to a king. It would have been almost a royal emissary, if you
That's
will.
a mob of people just coming to this random barn.
Well, I mean, honestly, and that's why Herod was so upset. Like, what's happening here?
Yeah.
Who are what king are y'all talking about? I'm the king. I mean, Caesar is the big dude, but I'm the king over this area. What's going on? Why aren't y'all paying me homage?
Yeah.
That's why you've got that situation. And if any of y'all may be wondering, like, why do I know what I know? I have Reverend tacked to my name as well, so I've pastored churches and things of that nature. So it's something that
you've done some theology study in the past,
right?
Yes. Okay.
Wait, you're Reverend Lee?
Yes, Reverend Kraft. Yeah.
Oh, Reverend Kraft. Okay.
Yeah. Technically.
Okay. Strange off-chance question because I'm the only Christian apparently beyond these 3.
Outlaw Catholic, so go ahead.
Catholic, that's funny.
I'm the pro-modified of Catholics.
If you're Protestant, you're outlaw Catholic. No, I'm joking.
True that. Because Garth Brooks can still sell the entire football stadium of 60,000 people here. Can he still do that in the South, or is he kind of done?
I would imagine so. Yeah, if he comes out as Garth Brooks and not as his failed other musical venture, then
Chris Gaines.
Thank you. Yes, he probably would still sell out arenas and certainly probably an older crowd. But I mean, I have friends who like Garth Brooks. I like some of his songs.
Yeah,
but on country music, I don't feel like it's been country for a very long time.
It's not. It's more kind of it's a lame attempt at almost alternative rock now. Not even. Yeah, it's just. I don't know what it is.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is your music genre of choice?
Oh wow. So.
And we can go around the table on this one.
Sure.
Right. But see, it's very hard for me to zero in on. My playlist on Spotify goes from Sam Spence, who did like the NFL film scores.
Oh, those are awesome.
Yeah, they are awesome. Yes.
Yeah.
To Prince and Purple Rain, and then to Metallica, and then Johnny Cash, and then Lady Gaga. I mean, it's all over.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's everywhere. Blues, jazz, heavy metal, alternative rock, country music. I mean, everything.
I could totally picture you in the rental car or whatever, pulling into a race venue and that stuff, and the music with the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field playing for this.
yes, it's and people don't realize those sounds. Sam Spence and NFL films. Yeah, he really defined a generation, and he did more composing than most of the great composers combined.
Yes. Yeah.
It is phenomenal what he was able to, and there's certain sounds that, at least for an American watching football, that I hear and I just associate with football instantaneous.
Yeah.
and it's his sounds.
There's music that he composed and produced that before NFL Films got the exclusivity for, like hundreds of news channels, and that's like local news channels would use for their sports highlight packs and just imaging and that stuff, even for commercials and everything like that. It's just like you go and scour YouTube and find a commercial break for meet the Chicago Bears at a Chicago mall or something like that, and the music that's going on in the background, that stuff, right? So it's like, how could they pass with that, right?
What was that?
That was my poor attempt at the NFL film soundtrack, which is...
I actually have a better question to twist this around, because I think I know what everybody kind of listens to. What do you not listen to? What is off your playlist? Stuff you're like, don't like it, not my flavor. Ooh. I cringe if someone else is playing it. I'm gonna, what's the off list? And this goes around the table. I want to hear everybody. What's your off list?
Yeah, for me, probably modern country, to be honest. I can't wrap my head around what they're doing, like what Lee had said earlier. As I can't wrap my head on what these acts and what these musicians and that stuff are trying to be. If they're trying to be like alternative, or they're just trying to be like party bands, or they're trying to be like folk songwriters, or what they are. It's just I can't grasp any. Like I got invited out to a country music concert over the summer, and there were two bands playing that I can't remember who they were, and I think one of them was like extremely hyper local to Western Canada or to Edmonton and that stuff. But the headliner was the James Barker Band, and they are kind of a country music band, but they spent half of the set doing cover versions of alternative rock songs. They did Blink-182, they did Green Day, they did it was confusing to me. Why because it was like, okay, you're supposed to be a
band after the guy from Price is Right.
That's Bob Barker.
Oh, right. Okay.
This is James.
Wow. What a swing and a miss.
By the way, folks, I'm the only one partaking in any alcoholic beverages right now at the moment.
Well, I got a whole liquor cabinet behind me if anyone wants me to pour something
But
out.
anyways, yes. So, but
Craig's
turn. So
I don't listen to everything that's not the Madden NFL 2000 song by Ludacris. That is the only song I listen to.
Shut up.
You want to come on the field and put on a skirt if you want to get out here and want to get hurt? That song goes harder than hard, tougher than tough. Blah! Like the old Ludacris.
How did you make that sound country?
Blah! I don't know. I just tried.
Got a little twang to it.
No, for me,
you made that sound country as hell.
For me, I think not to be the broken record, but like modern country music. I think partly like if you put on some Willie Nelson or like Tom T. Hall by the time I get to Memphis, like that's just a great song, And like Johnny Cash because I don't even know if he's country. Like he's just Johnny Cash.
He's the first rapper.
He was kind of like the old school rock and roll guy.
Yeah.
So like I love some of that stuff, and I mean, my wife likes country sometimes too, but like if you put on some, like Ian Tyson's a Canadian legend, and little Alan Jackson here and there, like that's there's some good stuff there, but mostly it's like if somebody puts on Luke Bryan, I'm gonna go Postal. Like,
right?
Shake it for me, girl. I'm like, I'm gonna shake something. But that's just because I don't know. Overall, my go-to is metal music, and the heavier, the deathier, the better for me.
Same. Yeah.
I want to hear Molten, coming out of the headphones. That's just for me. But I mean, I go to rap too. Like I like old school hip hop. I like Public Enemy, NWA. trying to think now. Like, Ice Cube when he went solo, Snoop Dogg, and Nas, and Dre.
Where was all this when we used to hang out? All you ever played was just Slipknot shit. Where was this?
Because I did that to annoy you, Ty. I would be like, hey, this band's called this, because you're like, I knew you're a rap guy. You're just, I was just like, this band's called Rammstein.
Hey, you want to hear this song? How about this one?
Because you'd be sitting in the car and you're
just, can't see it in. This band.
We're going past cops and you're like, I'm sorry. Like, it's not me doing it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Worst.
So, Lee, what's the one genre of music that you try to avoid at all costs?
I could echo modern country. Apparently the panel is unanimous just about that. Modern country, it just has lost its way.
It has.
Yeah, but
it really has. Yeah,
I'll go a different route.
Sure.
There is one genre that I just cannot listen to, and that is modern day rap. Old rap, old hip hop. Like Craig was mentioning, man, I put that on, I go work out, and man, I enjoy it. Like Outkast, those guys, and Dre and Snoop Dogg, and even Will Smith back in the day. I like some of his stuff, and LL Cool J, and blah blah blah. But the stuff now, like, what are y'all saying?
Yeah,
you're mumbling sounds over beats. Like, what?
New style of it, I guess.
Yeah. I don't understand.
Unfortunately, that's the Southern influence on hip hop, where they just want to mumble how they're taking drugs over the same beat.
I don't know how the Dirty South went to this, mumbling South. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah.
Is that out of Atlanta mostly, Ty? Like, is that like where the mumble rap comes from? Is it Atlanta?
Yep. I don't know if it was Migos or Future, but one of them started doing the mumble rap, and it just caught on for way too long.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Like, I don't know what the hell Lil Uzi Vert is saying. I don't know what all
Kendrick's
the rappers suck.
Kendrick's good.
Kendrick is the only standout, and that's because he sounds like where he comes from, which is Compton.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
He's like the only lasting lineage of what was great hip hop.
Yeah. You always got that one. Always got that.
Yes.
One.
Which is why he was part of the Super Bowl halftime. What was it? Not this past year, but the year before, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the one with Dre and Eminem and
because they all signed under.
Go ahead.
I don't know what I was going to say. Go ahead.
Okay. I would say right now in country, I think Cam is still carrying on good country music with the song like Diane and the one about the flames in the burning house, and then I think there's one fella. He's a Canadian, actually, if I remember. Colton Wall. If I remember.
Okay.
Coulter Wall. Yeah.
Coulter. Yes.
Coulter Wall.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, he's almost folk artist.
Yeah.
Almost, but definitely.
Yeah, he's good.
Got that country vibe, and got some great music. So you got some folks still carrying it, but they're not mainstream for sure.
Fun fact about Coulter Wall is he's from Saskatchewan, which is the province that's right next door to us to the east. Do you know who his next door neighbor is?
No.
Brock Lesnar.
Really?
Yes, because Brock Lesnar moved up to Saskatchewan a few years ago and that stuff, and bought a bunch of ranch land and that stuff. And Coulter Wall and Brock Lesnar are neighbors. They have adjoining acreages or ranches up in Saskatchewan someplace. Yeah.
Have y'all seen the photo of Brock Lesnar's daughter? Like, compared to Brock Lesnar?
Yes.
Like, dang.
You
can tell where she came from.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yep. Maury is not needed on this one.
No. Yeah. Brock, you are the father.
You are the father.
The way that he throws that paper down always, he's like sitting back. You are the father. You're like, oh God.
Whoa!
We'll keep the party rolling over here because we got the core. It's basically a classic Nitro steak now, but there's nothing classic about it. We're just riffing.
NWO has taken over.
We're taking
The
over
string.
for sure.
I'm
Woo!
Kevin Nash. Fuck life. I'm too sweet.
I remember watching that one clip of like there's this guy on YouTube did this amazing promo for the DX versus NWO, like it was like a fan made promo, and he used this clip of Kevin Nash with like the Tupac bandana.
Yeah.
Where it's like like in the front. That
Yeah,
Tupac.
Yeah.
But like Kevin Nash looks into the camera as they're like it was the Wolfpack and Hogan feud, and they're like beating up somebody. I don't know, beating up like what's his name? The fucking male gigolo. Whatever his name was.
Oh, Disco Inferno.
Just going for a Buff Bagwell or just going for they're beating up somebody.
Yeah,
and
it's
Kevin
probably
Nash,
Disco Inferno. They did that a lot.
Yeah, and then he just like Kevin Nash just looks into the camera and he's like thug life, and I'm like, did Kevin Nash just yell thug life into the camera? I guess he's from Detroit. I don't know.
Exactly.
Like,
that's one of the reasons I hated the NWO for most of it. The moment that the Outsiders came in, cool. The moment that Hogan joined, cool. Everything after that was complete horseshit.
Yeah.
Including these 50-year-olds, well, I guess they were 40 at the time, acting like they were 19-year-olds.
Yep.
It was ridiculous.
it's almost as if Eric Bischoff, instead of bringing so many older, over-the-hill WWF guys, should have maybe held on to a beer-drinking Texan named Steve Austin who was going places.
Yeah.
No, but he wasn't going anywhere in WCW because he was just completely sidetracked. He was like, I'm stunning Steve Austin and I want to be with Hulk Hogan in a tag team because we both have blonde hair that's starting to thin on top. We're like, that's an awful idea. Get the fuck out of my company.
Yeah.
No, he was gonna do the U.S. title run, and they curbed that on him.
Yeah, because he's stunning Steve Austin.
Yeah.
But he would have been great. He was still Stone Cold. Eventually, Stone Cold came out and he would have gone in there and did his blonde hair and drank beer. And Hogan. Stone Cold Stunner. 1, 2, 3. Stone Cold. Stone Cold. I said Stone Cold.
What? No, he would have never been Stone Cold if he didn't get to leave the WCW, to go to ECW, to say what's on his mind, to reinvent himself, to get a haircut, to get his notoriety back, to look like a badass, so he can get some attention from the WWF. And then get his transfer over.
What?
Just say what?
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. Actually, I need to bow out for a second because I have a special guest here.
Oh, you do?
That wants to come in and say hi.
Oh, okay. Well, please do.
He's very shy, so I have to turn the camera off. Okay.
Oh Lord, it's a puppet.
I'm just gonna stop the cam. I'm still here. Okay, I'm here, right?
Okay, he's turning the camera off.
Okay,
anyways,
you ready to come in now?
Hang on, I'll do the big intro. So ladies and gentlemen, Craig P Fraser has a special guest joining the stream right now, live from his headquarters, wherever Craig P Fraser land is. So take it away.
Thank you, Kellen Nitro, for bringing me onto this podcast. I'm coming to you live from the Baja, and I came up into Edmonton just tonight on an express flight. I have my own private airline where I fly myself in a refabricated steel tube, and I get it carried by flocks of herons and geese that fly me wherever I need to go. And it is I, the former governor of Minnesota, Jesse the Body Ventura,
Governor Ventura, thank you for joining us on the podcast tonight, or live stream, whatever the hell we're calling it. Yes. What did you think of the retelling and the new facts we got around the first Christmas earlier on in the stream?
Well, I was actually a Navy SEAL when the first Christmas happened. I was on deployment outside of the Gulf of Oman, and when I came in there, I was deployed in the Desert Response Unit, where we had to survive off of the Airheads candy and the water that was retrieved from the anal glands of a beaver. And as we were deploying, you don't know that, Ty? You were going to give me a weird look. Did you know that most vanilla extract is taken from a beaver's anus glands? That is true fact.
Wow.
No, it is not, Mr. Ventura.
It's absolutely true. Look it up. I am a Navy SEAL.
I don't have to look it up. I know that's not true, Mr. Ventura. You were not there. Mr. Ventura, you were not there on the first Christmas.
I was there.
Vanillin does not come from beaver anus.
You tell me where I was.
in the Sea of Oman.
If you're such a patriot, I was.
I am such a patriot. Look at all this Canada we got going here. I am a patriot.
That's false. That's
the money
false.
Team. Yeah.
You just put on a flag on your shirt and on your.
And you lie about beavers producing vanillin in their anus glands.
Google it. I'll wait. I'll sit here all night. I'll wait for you to Google it and find out exactly the truth.
Google it.
Vanilla extract.
Oh man.
But as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, I was in Oman and we went on a desert excursion on a new Bombardier Raptor X45, and I took it across the sand dunes, and I was one of the wise men, and my gift to the birth of Jesus Christ was I gave him my Bombardier four-wheeler. Because if you remember,
you had a Bombardier four-wheeler in the first Christmas 2023 years ago.
You're correct. I was there. We have discovered, and when I was a Navy SEAL, we discovered time travel, and that is how I was able to go to the Gulf of Oman and talk to.
You had time travel, and you went back to the Gulf of Oman.
I have a photo of me with the King of the Philistines, and we together made a trade deal with King David, and I was Goliath. I was the Goliath.
King David was not the king. Oh God!
I was wearing a suit.
Things wrong.
I was wearing a suit of armor. I was taken prisoner, and I built myself a suit of armor that I used to escape, and I delivered my four-wheeler to Jesus on the first
Ventura,
Christmas.
that's the plot of Iron Man 1 minus the Jesus part.
And you know what? When I brought it in there, they didn't know what to do with it, and they stripped it.
Of course they didn't know what to do with it. It didn't happen. Nor if it did happen, they wouldn't know what the fuck to do with it.
Jesus Christ would still be alive today if he would have just kept the four-wheeler and escaped the Romans. It was very
How are
easy.
you still alive today, Mr. Ventura? How are you still alive today if you were able to go back in
I've
time
already
to
told you.
2023?
You're not listening to the facts right now. I built myself my suit of armor and I escaped, and I landed in the modern day Eritrea, and I met with the local tribesmen leaders there, and they helped me build a canoe out of loincloths and coconut bark. And from there, I was able to escape.
Eritrea is not even. Oh my God! What?
You don't know. I had rocket-propelled armor. I was able to escape.
Did you have
That's just something you don't know anything about. You don't. You tell me what happened. Do you think the government? You think the government's gonna tell you about my secret op of time traveling? Because I did that. And then the next thing I did is when I went back in time into Hastings in 1066, and I told William the Conqueror where to go and set his siege to attack Harold Godwinson, the last Anglo-Saxon king of England, and how that defeat happened. Do you think William just happened to know exactly where to go, where exactly to go at the right time?
During that time jump?
I was not wearing armor at that time jump. I was wearing chainmail and a shirt that said, "I don't like Mondays." That is what I was wearing. And I came there, and William the Conqueror. You were wearing
a Garfield shirt underneath chainmail as you time jumped to the 1000s of England after being in Eritrea, escaping on loincloth and coconut bark and in a fucking canoe. Then you came from Israel, got up 2,023 fucking years ago!
That's exactly what happened. Now the thing is you
God damn it!
You think the government's gonna tell you exactly what happened? They're gonna these are top secret missions.
Why
that
would
are
they
being
put
under
you on a
wraps.
top secret mission? You're a psycho that doesn't tell the truth.
You don't know it. You tell me what the truth is.
If I had popcorn, I'd be snacking on it right now.
The truth is, you're a pathological liar, Mr. Ventura.
That's not true. I am not. You know who was a
Or you
liar?
have a form
Was
of Alzheimer's, where all of your memories have been replaced with fake things that you may have dreamt or read in a book, and replaced the character with you.
I was actually, you know who is a bad liar? Was the Chilean dictator Pinochet, and I was a part of the team that took him down. And he was assassinated by a 500-pound forest hog named Romboli.
He was never assassinated.
He was absolutely assassinated. You think they hired an? They couldn't hired an actor. They hired famous Latino actor John Leguizamo, who posed as Pinochet for the rest of his life. He is
John Leguizamo doesn't even look like Pinochet.
That's the magic of movie prosthetics there, Mr. TL.
Oh,
if you were such a patriot. You know, John Leguizamo was the hero we needed. He was the hero we needed, not the one we deserved.
Oh,
and
wow.
He was more than willing to step
Batman, Iron Man.
That's not Batman. You tell me what it is. Did Batman steal that from John Leguizamo? You tell me. You tell me why.
John Leguizamo had nothing to do with the assassination of Pinochet, who wasn't assassinated.
He was absolutely assassinated. It was a false flag operation that was used to direct the flow of people thinking that Pinochet was still alive, when indeed he was assassinated by the CIA from the help of myself and Stromboli.
Love it.
God.
Love it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen,
why did the United States government spend so much time covering this up if it's not true? What do you think they're not? They're not lying to you? Does the government always tell you the truth, Mr.
You
TL?
having double negatives is not helping anything right now into saying
yes,
no, lie, or false, or true. All I know is you've been lying this entire time.
I'm not lying. I've always ever told the truth. That's why I won the lawsuit against Mr. McMahon, and why I'll never appear on WWE ever again. Because he has to pay me royalties. He has to pay me royalties if I show up. So if I'm not lying about that, why would I lie about my stellar record in the Navy SEALs and when I was working?
That's a great question. Why do you continue to lie about everything that happened with the CIA, the government, and everyone else who was in on this Pinochet lookalike John Leguizamo jump time from the 10,000s in England from Eritrea?
You can't even keep it straight. You don't even know what you're talking about.
You can't keep it straight. I just tried to reflash all the information that you spewed out in all of your bullshit lies.
Perfectly accurate information, by the way. It was the best information. I was also an MI6, and they gave me the designation.
How could you be MI6? You're American.
I was
CIA,
007.
apparently.
Who do you think was the basis for James Bond?
Not you, Mr. Ventura.
It was me. I was the basis for James Bond. They were like, how do we get somebody to play a guy like Bond, a great hero that was real, that they wrote many great novels about? It was my exploits back when I was working at the time of the Nazi regime in Operation Blueprint, where I was the body that they ejected into the water with the fake plans of where the Normandy invasion.
Was about the Cold War, not Nazi Germany. That's too early.
You tell me what the inspiration was. Sir Ian Fleming.
I just told you.
Sir Ian Fleming was so impressed with how well I pretended to be a dead body, because my name is Jesse the Body Ventura after all. And I was a dead body that the Nazis found with the fake documents. And when they read it and they were like, "Is this real?" I sat up. I said, "You bet your ass it's real." And then they didn't man the forts properly. And then June 6th happened, 1944. Yeah, that's right. What happened on that day? D-Day. Do you know what that stands for? The D? It's the German name Dugoshna, which is actually my name, Ventura. That whole operation was named after me.
Why would an MI6 agent 007 go undercover as a outspoken professional fucking wrestler.
You tell me why. You tell me what a better cover.
Oh man. Governor Ventura, thank you very much for your time. That was a great get, Craig. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Thank you very much, sir.
Well, I mean, you know, I made a couple calls. I brought him in, and it was great. I really enjoyed it.
Too crazy. Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much.
I was, you know, I mean, sometimes bye. Thanks, Jesse.
Yes. Yeah, he's on his way back to the Baja.
He's going back to the hold a second. No,
Okay.
he just told me.
Yeah, I went. Probably stopping for a Baja Blast somewhere, and then, you know, maybe a taco
you
for
know,
Taco
I mean,
Bell,
it's you know, you're great. You're talking to the governor of Minnesota. You know, it's the former governor, mind you. It's a treat on this Christmas episode.
For sure.
Okay,
We're talking to the governor of South Canada. Yes, exactly.
Yes, governor of South Canada. Exactly.
I love it.
El Toro, I am so sorry that you had to sit through all of that. Like I am so.
I only had a certain amount of time.
Apologize.
You know.
And hey,
I want to talk to the governor.
Just subscribe up to the wrestling channel.
I want to talk to the governor
later.
Bring him back in. I have a question for him.
Okay, I'm back now. Why? What question do you have for me? Possibly.
Did you take my Game Boy in 1995?
Game Boys have never ever been real. They were invented.
Yes, they were. I got one for Christmas
that
same year, 1995.
By the famous inventor Hiroshi Takahashi. And he was the one that invented the Game Boys, but they're really mind control devices. And it's also true that if you hit the right sequence of buttons, you can call directly on a hotline to super spy extraordinaire Kim Possible. And you can actually talk to her and explain to her exactly what
I love Kim Possible!
She's real. In real life, Kim Possible.
Are you saying that Kim Possible is real, but Game Boys aren't?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying, because that's what the government wants you to believe.
But then how do you get in touch with Kim Possible if the Game Boy not real?
See, Jesse, sorry, he had to go.
Yeah, no kidding. He's gone.
Wait, come back here. I'm still missing my Game Boy.
I do have another guest that can come in here.
Oh, okay. It's a rotating house of guests happening.
Well, he's pretty shy, so he needs the camera off again.
Okay, yes.
Now, okay, you listen to me now. I'm going to tell you something here. My name is Alex Jones. I'm from Infowars.com. And I'm here to tell you something. Excuse me, I'm getting pissed.
Well, thank you, Mr. Jones, for joining the stream tonight. This is
no problem. This is not actually a podcast. This is actually an illusion of the mind's id, and I have the paperwork right here to prove it. And this is exactly why, they're making the fucking frogs gay. Alex, geez, thank you.
El Toro, I am so sorry.
I have a few things to do, but I enjoyed coming on and being a part of the holiday spectacular.
You got it. Thank you again. Cheers.
It was fantastic. And and before I go, actually, I need to say one more thing. I was actually also a part of a very serious plot to overthrow the government of France when I was Napoleon Bonaparte's wife, Josephine. That was actually me playing a woman. It wasn't an actual woman. It was me as a woman. And that is why Napoleon...
Well, Mr. Ventura, it wasn't very convincing as a woman. Much like everything else you did.
I was a complete dish, I'll have you know. I looked and sounded exactly like this, but just with a dress and a bit of lipstick. And I had the Frenchman in court in all sorts of manners of heat. Let me tell you,
You know what dish you are? The one that gets left over every year at Christmas dinner. That's the dish you are.
I couldn't keep that one going.
Well, hey, Craig, Merry Christmas to you and yours, and
yes, Merry Christmas, Craig.
Indeed, yes. Cheers, cheers to everybody watching too. Merry Christmas, yes, for sure.
Merry Christmas.
We're gonna getting into the we had the shank of the evening. Now it's just the the after party, if you will, a little bit. This is the part of the Christmas party where you kind of just mingle around, kind of half drunkenly through the building and say hi to everybody you haven't said hi to yet, and then call the Uber.
I've said hi to you before.
You know who's saying hi?
Oh.
You know who's saying hi is the old Morehouse on his channel on Ken AM TV. Says, sorry I couldn't join in this year, but happy holidays and Merry Christmas to all. So Merry Christmas to you, Mr. Morehouse. We will collaborate more, maybe even before the end of the year. I gotta get in contact with you.
You know what? Because it's late and I'm drunk now.
You are.
I got drunk in the break. And I want to tell you.
You got drunk on caffeine free Pepsi. That's impressive.
You tell me what I drink.
Oh, I'm drinking Bud Light Seltzer.
Ed Morehouse is a good guy. You don't see him enough, but he's there.
Do you want to take part?
Huh?
Do you want to take part in an old Christmas tradition from way, way back when?
Sure, I'd love to have a few.
Okay, so this is about 4 minutes long, and this was way back in the day on my old channel, back when I was working with FreakinNitro.com. We used to play this on the old Freakin' Nitro radio podcast back in the day, and this is a really funny piece put together by a independent studio in the States and that stuff. This is called The Bitch Who Stole Christmas. You know, bloopers and shit like that. So anyways, there you go. The Bitch Who Stole Christmas.
You know,
I should have played that when Craig was on, but anyway, there we go. We were rolling with a bunch of stuff right now with that. It was
usually when I see acting that bad, they start fucking after. Anyway.
Anyways, yes, it's the Christmas time of year. It's a Christmas Extravaganza. I haven't played that on anything in a long time. I'll link up a copy of the original video. It's over 10 years old.
It's going to be my new Christmas tradition to bury that and leave it forever.
Yes, exactly. So, Mr. TL, I will wish you a Merry Christmas and a happy everything.
You as well, good sir.
And I will do the same for sure. And I'm Kellen Nitro. Later days, happy wrestling and happy drag racing watching. And we'll see you all. And thank you very much for your love and support.
An awful idea. The Grinch had a wonderful, awful idea.
We will see you next time.
You're supposed to cut. Damn it.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you fucked it up. Don't worry.
Just gonna run an ad, so. So, anyways.
Good night, everybody. Merry Christmas.
We'll see you next time on Nitromaniac TV's Wrestling Unlimited or Drag Files. Have a good one.